Do you want to stay more focused on the right goals in your life, or even just figure out what the right goals are for you? Do you want clarity? Do you want better work-life balance? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to Success Through Failure.
Welcome to the Success Through Failure podcast, the show that reveals failure as your path to success. You'll listen to intriguing interviews with some of the most successful people on the planet and learn how their failures became a launchpad for success and how yours can too. Here's your host, former Division I All-American wrestler, former Division I head coach, speaker, and personal coach, Jim Harshaw.
Welcome to another episode of Success Through Failure. This is your host, Jim Harshaw, and I'm bringing you another episode on defining moments. This is the fourth of a four-part series called Defining Moments. And we all know that we have these defining moments in our life, and sometimes we know they're coming, sometimes we don't know they're coming, but how we plan for them or how we react to them is what creates our life, and it's what creates the satisfaction that we have with our lives. And we have to approach this intentionally. Otherwise, we drift through life. I talk to so many people who say, I never really thought I'd be at this point in my life. I thought I'd be further along at this point in my life. Or, they go through their life and with their head down and they're working and they're working and they're working, and they look up and they go, wait, how did I get here? Right? I thought I'd be at a different point in my life, but I'm here and I'm stuck and I'm not sure how to get out of this rut or get out of this routine. And that's what we're talking about here. That's living intentionally and creating a plan, attacking those defining moments. Again, whether we know they're coming and we're planning for them, like a marriage, or they happen to us, like we get fired from our job, right? Or it's some kind of combination of both, right? We fall out of love with our job and we decide to quit and try another job and it doesn't work out, right? And that's kind of what we're going to be talking, it is what we're going to be talking about more today. And that's how do we move on, right? How do we deal with change, deal with transition, and deal with new challenges? How do we face them head on and make the most out of them? Think about moving on after any kind of transition, or after a failure. And this might be maybe a divorce or a health issue or losing your job or losing your way in life, right? Or making a decision that didn't turn out the way you thought it was going to turn out, right? How do you move on? And so this is, like I said, this is the fourth of 4 episodes on defining moments. And these episodes have all taken place just in the last 5 or 6 episodes. So you can go back and see those, or you can just go to jimharshawjr.com/defining moments, and you can get access to just all 4 of the episodes there. You can listen to them all back to back if you'd like. And we'll talk about all 4 of those different areas of defining moments. So, before we dive into this, I just want to let you know that I'm extremely excited because this time of year, it's March. March Madness is around the corner, but I'm more excited for March Madness, which is wrestling. So NCAA wrestling is in my hometown of Pittsburgh. So can't wait for that. If you're not a wrestling fan out there, man, you should check it out. It's going to be on ESPN, and it's like the Super Bowl of wrestling. It's going to be sold out live for 3 days. It's such an exciting event. So anyway, that's what March brings me. And I know that whenever I was competing, I used to always get depressed after the national championships because it was like every day I woke up with a purpose. I had a short-term purpose today, practice, and then sort of midterm, end of the season. And then it's like the end of the season comes, and you're like, oh man, what am I waking up for now, right? I had that sense of purpose. So make sure, make sure you have your own sense of purpose. That's the kind of work that I do whenever I work with people. And that's why I coach people. And I love helping them find that sense of purpose. So they wake up every day with their own sense of purpose. And they have those short-term goals today, midterm goals in the next few months, and long-term goals in the next year or 5 years or 10 years of their life. So make sure you do that work. It makes life just so satisfying to know you're on a path and you're on a track and moving towards something. So that's what I feel this time of year. And so let's dive into how to move on, dealing with change, transition, and new challenges. Now, I'm going to give you some foundational thoughts here first, and then I'm going to wrap up with 3 concrete, specific things that you can do to help you deal with change, deal with transition, face new challenges, and move forward and move on with your life when you're going through those things. And the first one is this. If you listen to the first sort of area I'm going to cover before I get into those 3 specific bullet points is something that if you've been listening to my podcast for any length of time, you may have heard me talk a little bit about this. And it's the 4 tenets that you have to have in your life plan. The 4 things that you have to do the work to get clear on so you can have, that purpose that I talked about a little bit ago, but also that ability, that clarity and that confidence to move on and move forward with your life. And here are those 4 steps and those 4 pieces that you have to have clarity on. And the first is this: you must know and understand deep down what is most important to you. Right? And you might be able to sit here right now at this moment, whether you're on your commute or on the treadmill or out for a run or working out or whatever you're doing. And you might say, yeah, I know what's important to me. It's my family or it's this or that. And that's good. And we all have some of those things on the surface. But when you go deeper and really do the foundational work to uncover your core values, it really helps you make decisions. You can use those core values to make decisions, big decisions and small decisions. Small decisions from am I going to hit snooze on my alarm this morning? Or what am I going to have for lunch? Am I going to pass up that donut? Or to the bigger decisions of does this job fit what I love to do? Is this the right person to spend my life with? Those kinds of things, right? And when you identify those core values, it's so powerful. And one of the things that we do in Reveal Your Path in my coaching program is so awesome. We actually identify the core values and then we create a mnemonic to help you remember them so that you can use these every day to guide your life. And it's so cool because one of the guys that I'm working with right now just came up with a really cool mnemonic. And his it's actually just an acronym, DRIVE, DRIVE. And he identified, his core values kind of lent to this word, but and each of those letters means something specific to him, and he knows how to. Now he has this memorized, right? Another guy that I just working with, he had. Let's see, I'm actually scrolling through my Facebook group, my private Facebook group right now. Here it is. He posted his, and his is impact, IMPACT, and each of those letters stands for something. And this guy actually, Jerry. And anybody who's a client of mine, you guys know Jerry, probably in the Facebook group there. But he actually printed this out and posted it on his wall of his office. It's pretty awesome, right? And he actually uses these to make decisions, big and small. But anyway, getting clear, right? So doing that work, that's the first step. And then the second step is this. It's aligning your goals with those things, right? Because whenever you align your goals with what's most important to you, that gives you clarity. It gives you clarity of action. It gives you peace of mind. And you know what? When you fail, when you struggle, when you hit obstacles, it doesn't really matter because that doesn't change your goals. That doesn't change what's important to you, right? Because you will. I guarantee you're going to face failure and setback and obstacles. That's just part of it. Get used to it, right? But you have to have done this kind of work in order to feel and know that and have that confidence and clarity that you're moving forward in the right way in not just one area of your life, not that single-minded focus for those of you who are athletes in the past. When you have that single-minded focus, it doesn't work in the real world. You can't, it means you're turning off and tuning out everything else that's important in your life. And that may have worked when you were competing, but now in the real world, we have, so many things pulling at us that we have to be intentional about these other areas of our lives as well. So that's the first piece, identifying those core values. Second piece is getting clarity on those goals that align with those core values. And third piece is creating this environment of excellence. Who are the people, if you're going through this transition or facing this change or this new challenge, who are the people that you need to spend your life around? Who do you need more of in your life? Call them up, email them, shoot them a text, go have coffee with that person, right? Or join that group. And I don't know who that group is, but you do, right? If you don't, ask around. That group is out there. That individual is out there. They're probably in your network, right? Somebody you can reach out to. Who do you need more of? Maybe they're positive. Maybe they have done or are doing the thing that you want to do right now. Maybe they've gone through the challenge that you need to move through right now. Who are those people, right? That's part of your environment of excellence. And fourth and finally is, life is going to get busy. Probably already is. And some of these goals that you set, they're going to collect some dust. You can put them up on a shelf. And guess what? They do you no good up on the shelf. You have to have a plan to keep these front and center in your life. A plan for follow through, a systematic way to automate this, to make your goals as automatic as possible by keeping them in front of you, making sure you can take action on them on a regular basis. And if you don't, if you do all the work, the first 3 steps, you forget the fourth one, and you're going to be like most people. You're going to that set goals or resolutions, and they drift off within weeks, and forget about them. So that's the foundational stuff that I wanted to talk about. Now here are the concrete. I'm going to give you 3 concrete things to walk away with here. All right. Because you're saying, okay, Jim, that all makes sense. How do I do this work? How do I make the rubber meet the road? How do I make this practical? And I'm going to give you a couple things here. First is this, and some of these are all directly related to what I talked about here. But the first one is this: when you're moving through this transition, this change, this new challenge, then you have to move through it or move on, and you have to get to the next phase. You don't have to go all in on the next phase, right? If that means all in on a new career or a new job or a new business that you want to start or a new relationship or a new diet or a new way of life, in terms of working out or health, right? Maybe it's, volunteering. You want to do more volunteering or philanthropy, right? Whatever it is, you don't have to go all in, right? It's not all or nothing. And that holds a lot of people back from moving on. They're saying, I have to commit to this. No, you don't. You don't have to commit to something big. You commit to something small. In the design world, it's called minimum viable product. Minimum viable product. Lean in the startup world, it's called lean startup. Lean startup. You start with the least, the minimum viable product, the smallest, the least thing that you can do, and create from there. Test it out. It's called prototyping. If you listen to episode 124, I interview Stanford design professor Bill Burnett. He co-authored a book called Designing Your Life. Amazing book. I recommend it. If you go to jimharshawjr.com/action, you can actually grab the action plan from that episode 124. You can listen to it again on your favorite podcast platform. We're on Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, iTunes, etc. But you can listen to that episode and you can learn more about prototyping. But that's what they do in the design world. They don't go all in. You prototype. You test. Best way to prototype: get out into the world and meet people. Talk to people. Go have coffee. Stop by somebody's office. Go visit with someone who's, like I said, who's done this or is doing this or has gone through what you're going through. You can read books. You can listen to podcasts. You can watch YouTube videos. You can create your own curriculum. Say, I'm going to read 3 books, watch 3 podcasts, or listen to 3 podcast episodes, and watch, at least 1 hour or 3 YouTube videos around a specific topic. Guess what? You're going to be an expert, right? Create your own curriculum around something like that. But anyway, that's the first of the 3 concrete action items I want to tell you is prototype. Prototype. How do you prototype this experience? How do you test out the diet? How do you just talk to somebody who's been on that diet? How do you talk to somebody who's in that career, right? All right, the second one here is this: failure is an event, not a person. Failure is an event, not a person. It doesn't define you. Your failure, your setback, your obstacles, whatever it is that's holding you back, that doesn't define you. If this podcast teaches you anything, it's that failure and setbacks and obstacles and reasons that you should not succeed, they're normal. Everybody's got them. I know your situation's unique, but everybody's got them. They're part of the process, right? They're part of the process for success. And I don't care. Maybe you're listening to this and you're a millionaire, but you've got that one area of your life you're like, man, I just can't quite get that one right. Or because we think about, financial success as success. Well, that's just one way of defining success. Or maybe you're in like amazing shape and you can go run an Ironman tomorrow. Be like, man, I can't quite figure out this other area. I just struggle in this one area. Like, or whatever that area is, like your failure there doesn't define you, right? And it doesn't define you even in that area of your life. It's part of your process. It's part of your story. Right? Whenever I was wrestling, I didn't even get on the podium at the high school state championships. But at the next level, the harder level, most guys in high school don't even compete at the next level. And most of the guys who are elite at the high school, are really good at the high school level, don't even compete, let alone make it at the next level. I became an All-American at the next level. Like my high school career, my failures, my setbacks, all through my high school career and all through my college career really too, they don't define me. And I'll be honest, being an All-American doesn't define me either, right? Those are just part of me, part of my experiences. And so I told you I make this concrete and practical and actionable. So I'm going to give you a few episodes that you can listen to of Success Through Failure that will help you wrap your head around this concept. So a couple of my favorites, 94 with Todd Stottlemyre, World Series champion pitcher. Man, great story about failure, about almost quitting. And then when he, this car drive, he actually makes a real sort of visual. You can think about this time he's driving his car from one town to another and he goes through this thought process and it's just amazing. That's a good one. Justin Wren, episode 109. Justin is he's an amazing dude. UFC fighter. I mean, he's one of the top in the world, heavyweights. And man, just a big teddy bear though. This guy is just awesome. His story will blow you away. His story of failure and struggle and setbacks. Episode 143, Helen Maroulis. She was is an Olympic gold medalist wrestler. And man, just to hear her story, like her story from like a month before the Olympic championships, the failure and the struggle and the doubt that was swimming in her head is just really, really incredible. So I encourage you to check any of those episodes out. And actually, let me give you a bonus episode. Eric Weinmeier. When I interviewed Eric Weinmeier, he's a blind mountaineer and just an incredible human being. He actually is blind and he climbed Mount Everest and he actually whitewater kayaked the Grand Canyon. I'm a whitewater kayaker and a rock climber, and I can't. They're hard enough with having all your senses. And man, this guy can do it. Has done it blind. So just absolutely incredible episode. So that is episode number 96. Episode 96 with Eric Weinmeier is another really good one. Last but not least, concrete action item here. Find somebody outside of you. We all know that in sports that we need a coach, right? And I'm a coach. I know that. And I'm not saying, call me. I'm saying get somebody outside of you, a coach, a mentor, right? You've got to find this person who, this is my favorite quote of my own. The favorite thing I love to say is we all need a person who holds us to a higher standard than we believe that we can attain. We need that person who pushes us. We need that person who questions us. We need that person who can help us see our blind spot. We need that person to ask us the questions, the hard questions that we know that we need someone to ask us, to force us to answer out loud the things that we know are sort of below the surface. They're subconscious. They're in our minds. They're swimming in our thoughts, and bringing those above from below the surface to above the surface so we can actually look at them, think about them, shed light on them, and actually speak aloud the words that need to be spoken aloud, right? That level of accountability you just can't get by yourself. So those are the three things that I want to leave you with. I hope that helps. If you got any value out of this, please share this. Shoot somebody a text message to say, hey, check out episode number 187 of the podcast, of the Success Through Failure podcast. Tell them to check it out. Tell them to go to jimharshawjr.com/defining moments. But if you get value from this, please give it a share, or you can go to jimharshawjr.com/ share, and you can share it on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Super easy, just one click and actually pre-populates the post. You can edit it if you want, or you can just click submit and it'll post to your social media. So I appreciate you doing that. That is how this thing grows, and I love spreading the word, love making this impact, and I love hearing your feedback. So shoot me an email. If you haven't already sometime, definitely shoot me an email and let me know what you think. If there's a topic that has resonated with you most, or that you want to hear more about, or something I haven't covered, definitely let me know. I love hearing from you. And I'm a person who responds to emails. I know I send a lot of emails that people don't respond to. That's not me. I don't do that. If you email me, you're getting a response. So I look forward to hearing from you. My email is jim@jimharshawjr.com. I look forward to connecting with you. And make sure you grab your free copy of the action plan. Go to jimharshawjr.com/action. And that's all for today. As always, until next time, take the time to get clear on your goals and embrace failure as a stepping stone on your path to success.